Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back with another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Friday, February 9th, and we are on our European account and we've got a lot of victories that we need. We need warrior victories, I guess, before anything else, just so we can try and get something done. And I don't feel like playing Tavern Brawl is going to get me warrior victories any faster. So let's try this warrior pirate deck on casual and just try and get this to work. Let me swing back to my news. Where were we? On news. I guess we were at the point. I did have this. Twitch rolls out stricter rules for sexual content and harassment. The policies, which go into effect February 19th, focus on sexual streaming attire and moderation of harassing behavior on and off of Twitch. So that's an interesting idea where you could potentially get banned from Twitch for doing something off of Twitch, which that doesn't really work well for some people, because if I was going to stream like family friendly things on YouTube and Twitch, and then let's say I was going to play adult games on, say, I don't know, Pornhub or someplace that wouldn't mind that at all, the idea that Twitch and YouTube would be monitoring my account and looking to see if I was putting something inappropriate somewhere else seems like not only draconian tactics, it seems like blatant censorship on the face of what was just said. Maybe as we get into the details it will mean something different. In a blog post Thursday, Twitch announced the changes to community guidelines specifically focusing on harassment and sexual content policy. The post's introduction addressed maybe we should just read the blog post instead of reading an article about the blog post. Yeah. We're sharing an update to our community guidelines, blah, blah, blah. The story far from Twitch began with a single core idea of streaming video games online. I don't think that's exactly accurate, because Twitch really was a Justin TV spinoff, and Justin TV was not about video games. Let's see. You built a place viewers felt welcome, a place that could be turned to for laughter, gameplay, and friendship. Is that what Twitch is? Blah, blah, blah. There's a whole paragraph of like, this is how great. Anti-harassment and hateful content policies. I skipped about 4 paragraphs, short paragraphs. We want everyone not only feel welcome in Twitch, but to be proud to be part of the community. Well, the problem with saying we want everybody to feel welcome at this point is that people in their minds have defined feeling welcome to equal be feeling safe and free from criticism or content that they don't agree with. There are clearly some snowflakes out there who will literally say they don't feel welcome on the planet because other people don't agree with them. First, conduct we deem to be hateful will result in immediate indefinite suspension. Hate speech has no such place in the Twitch community. Okay. So, conduct we determine to be hateful. Well, at least they're not trying to play it off as if there's any objectivism here. It's just whatever they don't like, they're saying directly. And fair enough that if they think it's hateful, they will suspend it. Which, on a lot of these services, I think you should probably just bear your biases on your sleeve. everybody's gonna have biases, so trying to pretend like you don't is kind of ridiculous. Additionally, we'll now consider verifiable, hateful, or harassing conduct that takes place off Twitch when making moderation decisions for actions that occur on Twitch. So I guess that means if you say something hateful on Twitter or in some other open forum or semi-open forum, they might kick you off Twitch. So Twitch is protecting itself from bad press a lot in the way that YouTube should be protecting itself from bad press and often isn't. Let's see. What? I don't know what leveled that guy up. If you use other services to direct hate or harassment towards someone on Twitch, we will consider it a violation of Twitch's policy. So if you use Discord or something to tell all your fans to go harass somebody on Twitch, but also if you use Discord to tell people to go harass somebody else on Twitter, Twitch might kick you off. But I mean, in the end, I'm trying to play a little bit of devil's advocate here, because I don't want to just immediately say Twitch is censoring people. Twitch is being run by a bunch of SJWs, which they probably are. Like, frankly, aren't all the big tech companies being run by the same people, same types of people? That may sound a little too much like a conspiracy theory, I know, but it sort of is the truth. Two. We'll also be updating our moderation framework to pay close attention to context and intent in addition to the words and actions used. That's a slippery slope, because now they're saying they are going to they're going to translate context and intent however they want, something very, very much in the eyes of the beholder, on top of definitive direct words. So if somebody jokingly said, wouldn't it be funny if Twitch streamer X had a heart attack right now while he was playing, they might go, well, that was clearly a death threat. The context and intent there was you would be happy if he died right then. That is a dangerous slippery slope. All these rules, though, are usually slippery slopes and written so broadly that they can apply to everybody for every action. And that's when you get into the scenario like in the United States, where you potentially are breaking hundreds if not thousands of laws every single day, because there are just so many laws out there, they're just not enforced, and they're written so broadly. Moving on, sexual content is more my fear, and it seems like the idea here is it's going to be about the cam girls, which Twitch kind of has been having a sort of growing problem with that, where cam girls are just dressing provocatively and doing streams and pushing people to other sites to do full-on nude cam girl sessions. Let's see. I am playing for victories, so I need to remember that. Let's see. Under sexual content paragraph, Twitch is an open global community with users of many ages and cultures. Because of this, it's important that your content is not sexual in nature. Well, why can't you give us then a Twitch adult section? Like, at the end of the day, the banning is the problem. If there was an adult section and age verification, just like Steam has, just like so many other websites have, that would be fine. But just saying it's gone is giving a poor product, frankly. And honestly, it's hard to play video games without there being at least one awkward innuendo in it. Like, that just comes with games. We're updating our moderation framework to review your conduct in its entirety when evaluating if the intent is to be sexually suggestive. We'll be looking at the contextual elements such as the stream title, camera angles, emotes, panels, attire, overlays, and chat moderation, which that really is not in the hands of like, you can't really moderate your chat too much. And if channels get banned because a group of people go on that channel and start saying things, like, how far does that go? Say you are a woman gamer and you do nothing to encourage it. You're dressed appropriately, the camera angles appropriately. You go on there and you start streaming, and people, and usually kids, I would assume, decide to start, sexually harassing them, saying, "Hey, you're hot, you're cute, I love you," stuff like that. And let's say she's cool with it. She's like, "Oh, thanks, that's nice," and she's not shutting it down. She's not immediately reporting it for harassment, which I've already probably made a mistake in that statement, because I've equated what could be legitimately just compliments as sexual harassment. And normally, if I was making a different argument, I wouldn't say, "Hey, you're hot, you look nice, you're cute," as actual harassment things. It only turns into harassment after the point where she says, "Hey, don't talk like that. Let's not have talk like that," stuff like that. Once she shuts it down and it keeps happening, that's when it becomes harassment. The legal definition is unwanted sexual attention in some instances. And so let's say she's like cool with it. Is her channel potentially going to get shut down, a perfectly appropriate lady gamer, simply because she wasn't SJW enough to claim all attention that she gets in the chat is harassment? That's the slippery slope argument that I'm afraid of here. Offering access to prohibited sexual content such as lewd on Twitch remains prohibited. Attire and gaming streams, most at-home streams, and all profile and channel imagery should be appropriate for public street, mall, or restaurant. As a reminder, we do not tolerate using this policy as a basis to harass streamers on or off Twitch, regardless of whether or not you think they're breaking this rule. So, while Twitch may shut you down because you're inappropriately dressed, you still can't tell other people they're inappropriately dressed. The transition period is the next thing. The full changes are available in the revised community guidelines. You can read some examples and learn more. Man, I hate when they do this, when it's just article after article that links to article after article. This is how YouTube works. So the community guidelines have things like breaking the law, suspension, evasion, self-destructive behavior, violence and threats, hateful conduct, and harassment. I would like to point out that under breaking the law, it is 3 short sentences, 2 lines. Under hateful comment and harassment, it is 3 large paragraphs, no less than 25 lines long. Unauthorized sharing of private information, impersonation, spam, scams, and other miscellaneous conduct, nudity, pornography, and other sexual content, extreme violence, gore, and obscene conduct, unauthorized content sharing, and other copyright violations. Copyright violations are only 5 sentences. There's a list somewhere of games you cannot play on Twitch, but neither one of these have actually listed towards that list. So that's a very generic, generic is what I meant to use, set of rules with no real examples. And we can really, since it's just a bunch of generic rules for Twitch, we can really just see how the enforcement goes, because it could be really it could go one way or the other. That, like, it could be the rules are written really tight and then they never get enforced. It could be that the rules are written tight and they get enforced all the time. For me, this is a little bit scary if Twitch becomes an unwelcome place for me, and their first sentence was this: they wanted to be a place that was welcome for everybody. Well, I feel potentially a little less welcome now, because if I move over my Witcher 3 content and it has edits in it to cut out all the sex, and that's still not good enough for them. If I move over the LA Noire content and it has blurring in it to cover up the new dead bodies in LA Noire, and that's not good enough for them. If I move over Honey Pop, which is a banned game on Twitch, so it shouldn't be moved over anyways, but it very possibly would have to be, because I'd have to use a automated system, and so in using that automated system, as soon as Honey Pop gets uploaded, maybe my channel would get deleted, and then all the videos that I was in the process of uploading to Twitch also get deleted. And I'm still not sure Twitch is the right place for me in the first place, because I don't know if the videos are going to stay. Also, I'm not sure I want to do Twitch when Dr. Disrespect gets the most number of concurrent streamers ever, and he's barely getting 300,000. But with their new announcement on stronger guidelines, it could be on any level, any number of reasons for what for why they're saying what they're saying. Moving on, the Switch rhythm game Voez, V-O-E-Z, just got another 14 free songs. So if you have that game, which you may only have it if you got it out of Japan, it's after today's 14 update, Voez features 174 genre spanning Japanese and Korean pop tracks incorporated with well-designed beat patterns and stellar visualizations. But I'm not sure Voez ever came to the West. Honestly, looking at Voez though, looking at it again, I don't know if it's the right type of music game for me. It's a little too complicated. honestly, I don't want to play music games. I just want to play games with good music. Uh, Trying to do matching beat patterns, trying to uh, pretend like in some weird equivalency I'm actually playing music is beyond my abilities and beyond my interest. Now, I would like to listen to 174 Korean pop tracks and Japanese songs, but also I bet those would get content ID'd like crazy. So if I could play a Switch game on this and stream it, which I don't even know how you would do that with. You just need a capture box, I assume. Like I guess there's nothing else you can really do. This guy's getting powered up more and more. The PS4 Pro's new super sampling mode has been added for 1080p users. System Software 5.5 allows you to a new option called system level super sampling. It addresses the ability to let the game, I believe, render at higher resolutions and then be sampled down to the resolution you're looking at, is what super sampling I think is. So Hearthstone actually has a super sampling ability that you can do with the GeForce experience. I don't use it, but it's there. So it puts the assets at a higher resolution and then it downscales that resolution to 1080p so that you can get potentially more detail. Honestly, a lot of that comes directly down to what the original resolution of the assets are, because if the assets are 1080p and you're running at a 1080p screen, that's as much detail as you're going to get. If the assets are 4K and you're doing super sampling, then it will look better than other ways of subsampling things. Usually if you have super sampling turned on, it is going to require more graphics processor, but I guess the PS4 can handle that. Let's see, we already talked about the Deadly Premonition director Swery taking a second chance at kickstarting The Good Life. I still don't get how they go from making Deadly Premonition to a game about a girl moving to a new city and the city being magical where you turn into a cat at nighttime. I suppose I should turn on the Hearthstone deck tracker again while I think about it. One more victory with the warrior and then we only have to worry about the third quest. That's not really an article, so we won't talk about that. Yet another Fate in the Fate series game is coming out, so this time Fate Grand Order Arcade launches in late July in Japan. It's launching with 20 playable servants, is what it's called. What kind of game is this? The arcade game is based on the characters known as servants and settings that appear in the Fate Grand Order smartphone game. The player will control 3D versions of the servants and battle with friends in Spirit Summons team battles. So it seems kind of like a newer version of a cell phone version of a Pokemon style game. It doesn't seem like there's any wandering around though, so it seems like it's just gonna be well, I'm not seeing anything here that says that there's a map in the places you go. It seems like it might just be battle after battle after battle. That's what I would think when you hear a phrase like arcade. And I'm not seeing anything here that tells me what it's coming to. So it might actually be coming to an arcade. Well, this is a lot on screen for an arcade game. I don't see any summoning going on. This looks like a fast-paced, non-turn-based action, kind of like a Dynasty Warrior games, except for instead of there being hundreds of people, it's just stronger people in groups of like 5 or so. Ton of abilities and menu bars and 4 or 3 people teams, and you're running around pretty empty countrysides according to this. And there's some special magical attacks that you can pull off. Yeah, it seems like you just run around a 3D flat area, basically. And that 3D flat area allows a large group of people to fight. And yeah, this might just be in the arcade. Like, they're calling it an arcade game, so it'll definitely never come to the West if it's an arcade game. Man, there's so many Fate games and movies and books. Mojang's game Scrolls, which they were sued, I believe, by ZeniMax for using the name Scrolls, because ZeniMax was claiming they owned the phrase Scrolls as in Elder Scrolls, which that is unbelievable and unrealistic of a claim, is that they think they own the entire every variety of the word Scrolls. Anyways, those servers are going down because nobody played Scrolls. I'm not even sure if the game was finished. I know they were working on it. Mojang says they hope to make the software public. It was a collectible card game / strategy game. Let's see. But clearly nobody was playing it. So on, let's see, February 11th, beginning at noon Eastern time, it will hold a short and sweet tournament, open to all, with no restrictions on decks. And let's see. And then they'll probably shut down soon after that. So yeah, just kind of with a whimper, Scrolls goes out of business and gets shut down. Let's see. Can we... How many of these do we want to get rid of? So that leaves me with 7. I may be done with the news pretty quickly here. So I don't know how I want to do the rest of this stream. There might be a lot of post-game play, come to think of it. There's a game called McRogue where you use a giant robot fist to punch giant robots. It seems a little real-time strategy-ish. Or maybe I'm just watching a scene in which the main character is fighting a giant robot and I'm not getting the right perspective. Yes, actually that's what I am seeing. It's a hack and slash top down, something like Diablo. Let's play this. Play this. And then this. And then lose. Well, you can't win them all. So McRogue must be a new game because I haven't heard of it. And here at the end of this, McRogue only has 2 levels at the moment. So it needs, this is one of those PC gamer advertisements in the form of an article where they're talking about a game that isn't even out yet to build up hype. I imagine McRogue won't get too much hype though. This isn't video game related, but it's kind of funny. Apparently, a nuclear scientist in Russia were arrested for using supercomputers to mine cryptocurrency. One would assume they did not have authorization to use the supercomputers in that way. Otherwise, it would be allowed. Like I almost have no doubt that in Russia, some government supercomputer is authorized to mine cryptocurrency, and I bet the same is true in the United States and most countries, that every secret organization is mining cryptocurrency. Let's see. The Russian Federal Nuclear Center. So it's the nuclear facility is the facility that they were using the supercomputers in. So very possibly they were using supercomputers that were supposed to be watching the power flow of a nuclear reactor and making sure it didn't overheat. Let's see. There are 20,000 people currently employed at the facility. It has a supercomputer that is capable of 1 petaflop. The supercomputer is not supposed to be connected to the internet, which was the scientists' undoing. Once they attempted an online connection to mine cryptocurrency, an alert was sent to the facility's security department, which in turn contacted the Federal Security Service. So they didn't even get any money out of it. That's no good. I don't know if they really have to be connected to the internet though, the miner coin. Excuse me. I think if you put some extra effort into it, you probably could set up cryptocurrency by moving the files over to a supercomputer, then transferring those files, the Bitcoin, to another computer, and never having it actually connect. But I would imagine these criminals weren't that smart, because if they were that smart, they probably would have realized that they were going to get caught trying to do something. Let's see. We already talked about super sampling. PC Gamer has an article. Genesis Noir is a stark romp through the entire universe. Is this a game they've already talked about? Are we getting more advertisements? That's always the risk looking at PC Gamer. I think it is. Genesis Noir is currently on Kickstarter. It's earned $25,000 and will run for another 6 days. Yes. So this is just an advertisement for the Kickstarter. Wish I had better sources and more trustworthy sources, but I just don't. There's a game called Laser League by Roll7 that's discounted for its early access launch. Again, a PC Gamer article / advertisement. Let's see. Apparently it's made by 505 Games. Isn't that some of the people that made Destiny? Well, looking at the game, it looks kind of cool, but it also kind of looks like a attempt on redoing the Tron Light Cycles game in the way that it would be an actual playable game. And the thing about Tron Light Cycles is it's not really that fun of a game. That being said, there's 153 user reviews and this is sitting at 94%. See, the trailer for this video goes from a top-down appearance to a side appearance. So sometimes it looks like there are real characters that matter, and sometimes it just looks like it looks like you're just playing a top-down game. Let's see. 505 is just a publisher. Roll7 made Ollie Ollie and Not a Hero, and 505 published Portal Knights, Abzu, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, a lot of medium level indie games. So I guess 505 didn't make Destiny. So I want to go down here and see the negative reviews on a game that is rated so high. There's only 9 negative reviews in here. The game itself seems fine, though I don't know if I particularly like it. My problem is it took 10 minutes to load into anything, and when I started playing with a friend, we both got a fatal error. Okay. Low player base is a criticism. Even these negative reviews are positive reviews. This is highly suspicious. Like, you just don't see reviews this good for early access games. Whole game freezes and drops every third game, getting old quick. It's a mashup of different styles, but it's done very poorly. It's bad for your eyes too. And view response. And let's see. Every single one of these negative responses, except for one, I think has a developer response. No, two of the 9 negative reviews for this game have developer responses to them, which makes me feel like the developer is censoring the criticism to a very effective way. Like 94% success rate for a game that to me does not look that interesting. Like, it could be crazy fun to play. It is also one of these games where I think you have to have at least 3 people playing with you. Let's see, it does say it has single player, but every video, which all of these are videos, there's like 5 videos of alone. Let's do this and then do this. No, I've lost. Yeah, looking at these screenshots, it seems like the camera just moves and does some cutscenes when you win or lose. This game does not look that interesting. Laser League does not look that interesting to have a 94% rating. I would wait. We need to see some more people. Wait till it's out of early access. If it really is this amazing game, it'll still be an amazing game at that after it's out of early access. Wait till there's more people willing to review it. It's just highly suspicious. When some of the best games I can think of on Steam have 78%, 80% ratings, to have something have a 94 seems fishy to me. The Secret of Mana remake has system requirements and a price. The fully 3D version of the 1993 Super NES game it will be live next week. And how much is it? It is $40 on Steam, and its minimum requirements are nothing much. DirectX 11 and 11 gigabytes of storage, 4 gigabytes of RAM. That's to run it at 720p, to run it at 1080p, 4 gigabytes of RAM. DirectX version, I believe 11, again, and 11 gigabytes of storage. The only real difference is that the minimal requirements say you can do an i3 2.4 gigahertz, where the recommended is an i5 2 gigahertz. So having more cores on an i5 allows the cores to run at a lower thing. Why Secret of Mana would really stress your system would be an amazingly weird thing, because it's not like it's going to be doing anything that crazy. It's just the old game with 3D graphics. And I'm not sure if that really changes too much anything. I suppose, like, I would probably prefer to play a 3D version of a Super NES game with updated graphics that looks cartoony than to have to deal with the pixel art of a Super NES game of the time, and it looking and having the original art look rather blurry. but it does kind of feel like they changed the artistic style. Now you're basically looking at a Pixar game, a cheap, well, to be more accurate, I'd say it's closer to a cheap cell phone version of 3D animation. Like, I guess a lot of it is just going to come between whether you have any memory of the Secret of Mana. The remade version of the game supports co-op multiplayer, updated so the one player can cast magic and everyone else can continue to play. Apparently this was an issue in the original release. It offers a brand new rearranged soundtrack alongside the original soundtrack and the option to switch between them and will. And the new interlude episodes featuring interactions between Randy and his new friends. The game log that tracks the progress of the story, Steam achievements, trading cards, and partial controller support. It's kind of weird that new games can promise trading cards now that that Steam is not guaranteed that all people can get trading cards, so that there's less fake games on their store. But I would assume companies like Square Enix, which is the people releasing Secret of Mana, don't have to follow the rules like everybody else. It's funny, the Secret of Mana, honestly, in this new way that it looks, kind of just falls through the cracks and looks like a bad cell phone port of a game instead of being a history making like important footnote in Super NES's lineup. If I was a new player and I wandered across this game, I'd probably just hit next and never want to play it. In fact, the only reason why I do want to play it is because I know it's a popular game from 1993 being remade, which sets an odd precedent, because what if there was a game that came out in a remaster form but it was a bad game? Actually, I guess I don't have to say what if. Bionic Commando really was just a remake of a game that wasn't that good, from best I can tell. And I did play it, and I was not satisfied with playing it. Let's go ahead and kill these. Moving on though, David Gator has left Beamdog. Gator, the lead writer of Dragon Age games, has left. He left BioWare for Beamdog in 2016, and now he is leaving Beamdog. Let's see, he worked on Baldur's Gate 2, Knights of the Old Republic, Neverwinter Nights, all heavy story-related RPG type games. So he's a big name. Let's see. His quote is, "So today is my last day at Beamdog. Mixed feelings as I pack up my desk, as I'll miss the crew. Big thanks to Trent Oster, and I wish everyone here all the best, but it's time for me to move on." So, being a writer, it's possible that he was simply done with his work, and in the video game industry, that means you're just out of a job. Like, he may have written the entire story for the next game that Beamdog is going to release. Beamdog hinted in a farewell message that most of Gator's work remains hidden behind the scenes. Uh, Dave came to Beamdog during interesting times. Since then, he's been teacher, mentor, and friend to so many of the team. We've seen Dave conquer new worlds, and we'd love to play in and spin stories in places already close to our hearts. Someday we will share the fruits of his labor. Most lasting, Dave is building a creative team that will shape the stories Beamdog tells for years to come. He has freely shared his incredible wealth of storytelling and narrative design experience with the developers, designers, and artists around him. We've all learned a lot from Dave, and we hope he picked up a trick or two from us as well. Beamdog's co-founder Trent Oster said Gator's departure has been in the works for a while, so the impact on current projects will be minimal. Dave was a valued member of our team and has done a lot of great work for us over the last 2 years, Oyster said. While we're sad to see Dave go, we're anxious to step up and show how we have grown as a studio and as a team. So no real indication as to why he's leaving, if there is really any reason. I sometimes wonder in our current environment if there isn't going to just be a run of people who quietly quit or leave their jobs before some controversy comes about, comes out about them. Certainly that might be the better move. That being said, if you have some controversy that's haunting you and following you for the rest of your life, leaving one job, getting another job, as soon as that controversy comes out, people are going to be claiming for you to be fired then and there regardless. This is more of a political thought, but there's only room for recidivism, sending someone who has done something wrong back into a path of doing something wrong, if they are forever ostracized and society is pushing for them to be constantly fired and completely unemployable for the rest of their life. Let's see, I'm looking at Beamdog. They made MDK2, MDK2 HD. I don't even know what MDK2 is. Baldur's Gate, Baldur's Gate 2, Icewind Dale, Baldur's Gate Siege of Dragonspear, Planescape Torment, Neverwinter Nights in 2017. Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition. So Beamdog hasn't really made that many games. It's Neverwinter Nights is a top-down game that looks like it's something like Diablo based on a Dungeons and Dragons game. Yeah, I just don't think any of these games are for me, and that's why I've never heard of Beamdog. Moving on. And let's attack that one. And attack that one. There's a rumor that NVIDIA Ampere might launch a GeForce GTX 2070 and 2080 on April 12th. I don't see how that would be right, because why would it go from a 1080 Ti to a 2080 Ti? It should be an 1180 Ti should be the next thing. So, I don't believe this rumor. It would be nice if NVIDIA came out with some new video cards, but unless these new video cards have something in them that stops Bitcoin mining, and it's a way to keep the prices a little bit lower and keep the inventory a lot higher, and it was a major improvement over the 1080 Ti series. Like, I don't think they're coming out with a new one right now. PC Gamer has an article, World of Warcraft's new level scaling is fun, but only if you love nostalgia. Because one would assume that if you don't want to go back to the old parts of World of Warcraft and play at your current level in those old parts, you're probably not going to see much of a difference. Personally, I guess I don't really want to read this article, though. It's like that you can read the article out there if you want to, but since I don't play World of Warcraft, I don't care. Apparently, Google is considering streaming service for games, similar to PlayStation Now, through the Google's Chromecast or an entirely new console. I guess that would kind of work. Like, would kind of make sense to get into that market. I would suspect that it might not be AAA games, though. And if Google was going to try and stream AAA games, why not partner with Valve and bring it to something that you could take your Valve library, your Steam library of games, and stream those and more. PC Gamer has an article. Metro Exodus will feature a year-long journey across the Russian wilderness. I don't believe it will actually take a year to play the game, though. But I think that's kind of what they had already said anyways, is that Metro Exodus was going to be the first game in the Metro series where you weren't mostly stuck in the tunnels of this world that had been nuked, I think, or radiated, and you were going to come out and look at the monsters on the surface for the first time. Let's see. PC Gamer has an article. Witch Ball is a Pong reinterpreted as a sci-fi racing game. And let's watch this trailer. This looks like total garbage in every cut screen. So, like, I don't know about these half the time. Yeah, this game of Witch Ball is, it's like two characters running on an infinite runner plane, and they're bouncing a ball back and forth like Pong while also having to run. And this concept would be really cool, but in practicality it just looks horrible. The animation style is awful. So come back to me, Witch Ball, when you have a good looking game. Right, jobs. And that. And that's another job, that's another job, that's another job, that's another job. And that's that. And this is going to be the end of the stream pretty soon after this game. There's no new Humble Bundles. And let's look at the Twitter. I think what I'm gonna do is just read out the title of the job and the location of the job and who it's for, and that's about it. Here we go. This is the one story I want to talk about, so I want to talk about that last though. Battleborn 1944 plays like a shooter born in 2005, which means it's probably garbage. I heard from Jim Sterling that he's currently playing a game that is awful, and so this will be a interesting revelation to see what of the major AAA games is coming out recently and is going to turn out to be horrible. The Evil Within number 25 aired 29 minutes ago on my channel. Getting close to the end of that series. VLC 3.0 apparently has been released. If you are familiar with that video player program, I use it. I think I use it at least to PC Gamer has an article. If you have a high ping, you can pay a subscription fee to lower it. I kind of suspect that might not be true, but maybe there's some way you could get around with it. Like, I don't think I would pay for something like that. Why not pay for better internet service provider in general? There's another farming simulator game, although this one is tend your crops and the ancient evil that lies beneath in the dark farming simulator called Gleaner Heights. So, if that interests you. Gamasutra, Nintendo is uncertain about the future of the 3DS after the Switch's success. That's a little unsurprising. See, I'm still scrolling down my Twitter to see if there's any new news that we haven't covered yet. I'm really not sure what I'm gonna do this week. It's probably not gonna this weekend. Probably not gonna be too much, honestly. Like, I could see myself taking it easy on my channel a lot. Just a complete and total I'm trying to adopt a newer, more laid back way of doing things. Well, I'm just kind of sliding into that. Apparently there's a Dishonored 2 graphic novel coming out this month. That's really late. Hmm. Hmm. Dying Light is going cheap this weekend. So Dying Light will be on sale. I don't believe I own Dying Light, so I'd like to get it, but not quite ready to invest into a game that I won't get around to playing. What can we do? We can do this. This. We can do this. And might as well take less damage by doing that and that. Alright, so that's all the news. So let's go back and just list these jobs. So Amateur Studio is hiring a graphics engineer. Amateur Studios is out of Austin, Texas. They're looking for a mid to senior level graphics engineer to join them. I'd like to probably know what Amateur Studio, Armature Studio does. So let's search this and see if they've actually released any games. What games have they made? Metal Gear Solid HD Collection, Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. So this might be a new Batman game. Unfinished Swan, Borderlands The Handsome Collection, Recore, and Death Star. Recore was the latest one to fail. And they seem like they're probably an assistant company because I don't think that they well, they did also the director Mark Pacini and art director Todd Keller and the principal engineer Jack Matthews left a company called Retro Studios that made Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. They could potentially be making the new Metroid Prime game, but the rumor is that that actually is being made by a Korean company, so I would suspect no on that. Ubisoft is looking for a tools programmer in Ubisoft Montreal, full-time tools programmer to, let's see. Tools programmer will design, implement, enhance, and ensure proper functioning of tools that will be used to complete the engine possibilities and help improve the effectiveness. So kind of like an engineer of the engine, but something more specific than that. Let's see. Mojang has several jobs if you want to work out of Stockholm, Sweden. Front-end developer, senior game developer, a game developer for the Minecraft Java edition, and a software developer for Minecraft launcher tools. Great. Gearbox has a publishing brand project manager position open for Frisco, Texas. Frisco, Texas is north of Dallas, Texas, in case you're wondering. So if you want to be a project manager and brand publisher, probably not for Borderlands, but for some of the other games that they are publishing, you could work with them. At some point, you might be able to work your way up to Borderlands. Intel is hiring for a graphics/software engineer for Folsom, California. I'm not sure where Folsom, California is, but I bet it's north of San Francisco because that's where it tends to be. I want to take a moment here to point out we've got so much work to do. Like, I'm gonna on the weekend almost certainly have to play at least this. I'll do some silent play later in a moment, actually, post-game play. But I need to, before midnight happens, really get one victory with the warrior. And then 5 more victories to do on the European. And we haven't even touched the American account. So let's go look at the American account. Because that too has some work to do. And then as this is launching, let's come over here. So we have a 40 that we need to trade. So Divine Shield, 5 games with the Paladin or Priest, 30 Murlocs. I can do all of those. That works relatively well. This is the pack from the Tavern Brawl. Let's open this. And it's just 4 common cards and a rare. Which I'm sure I have all of those cards. So, disenchant all 5 of those cards for 40 dust. Not a great trade-off. So, let's look at the recently nerfed cards again. The first one was Creeper. And this is my main account, so there's really no reason why I shouldn't have all of these cards. Let's see. So this card I never got in any of my accounts. Interesting. I just looked at it. Next is Patches, which I do have. But I think I already disenchanted it for 1600 dust. Well, or I don't have it. Okay, fine, forget that. And then Raza. Like, I should have Raza. I thought I had these cards. Didn't have that card either. So for me, with the exception of Bone Mare, every other card, I just didn't have them anyways. So disenchant these and disenchant these, and that gets me that. I guess that's all I needed to know there. Let's see, Paladin or Priest? Do I have a Paladin Murloc deck? I think I may. May have gotten rid of a Murloc deck, actually. Don't tell me I got rid of both of them. Let's just play wild here. So let's read it. Now, on my little titling of my videos, I have been putting things I'm not going to talk about. And usually, it's been the #1 thing on trending on YouTube. However, in this case, what's trending on YouTube is something I'm going to talk about. Logan Paul has been demonetized temporarily. Now, by my understanding, just seeing the tweet and retweeting it last night, I would hope that this is a community guideline strike and that it lasts for 30 days like it would last for everybody else, if that's how community guideline strikes work. He has already been given extra ability and extra slack because it didn't happen instantaneously, and he's not even being punished for the suicide video. He's being punished for doing like 3 other videos that are just as bad. I kind of wonder, if I was to put on my conspiracy hat, I kind of wonder if, one, he's trying to break a contract with either YouTube or Maker Studios / Disney and quit working for them, or if he is frankly maybe just completely trying to get out of his current job environment completely, and is intentionally doing crazy things. But I kind of also assume he's just doing what YouTube has taught him to do, which is cause drama and to get views. But that's not the only thing. It seems YouTube now has a bigger article about how they're going to start handling people like Logan Paul, who are potentially destroying all of YouTube, endangering all of YouTube. So now that they've kicked out all the small YouTubers for no reason, really, they're now addressing the real issue, and we'll see what they actually have to say. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not much, and I wouldn't be surprised if there are exceptions at every twist and turn. Let's see, let's do this. Here's the article. Recently we faced situations where the egregious actions of a handful of YouTubers harmed the reputation of the broader community, creator community among advertisers, the media industry, and most importantly, the general public. In light of this behavior and our commitment to tighten our policies and communication, and communicate them more quickly and transparently, we've introduced new consequences to apply in the rare event where one of our creators' actions harms the entire community. Now, here's part of what my fear is, that this is going to be the beginning of a policy and an idea designed around, if your content gets flagged by the AI as not suitable for advertisers, and then you click let it be reviewed, that there might be a strike system that they implement where if it gets reviewed and confirmed by manual review, that you get some kind of strike, and that means that it will become very dangerous to do anything than the most family-friendly thing, which doesn't really work for me because video games with guns get flagged as not advertiser-friendly. If people started looking at those and saying, actually, that's correct, video games with guns are not advertiser-friendly, then most of my channel is under this new extremely tight definition, not advertiser friendly, and potentially could get my channel deleted. That's where I think this might be going. But let's see where this implies it's going. When one creator does something particularly blatant, that like conduct heinous pranks where people are traumatized, promotes violence or hate towards a group, demonstrates cruelty, or sensationalizes the pain of others in an attempt to gain views or subscribers, it can cause lasting damage to the community. Yeah, it's been going on for probably a decade now, including viewers, creators, and the outside world. That damage can have real-world consequences not only to the users but also to other creators, leading to missed creative opportunities, lost revenue, and serious harm to your livelihoods. And that's why it is critical to ensure the actions of a few don't impact the 99.9% of you who use your channels to connect with your fans and build a thriving business. Of course, 98% of the people were already just kicked out and demonetized, so they're trying to protect the 1% that is also not the bad 1%. And they're certainly phrasing it as lost revenue for the YouTube creators, which is true, but they're conveniently mentioning that the only reason why they're taking action is because they're losing revenue for themselves, too. We have a long set of community guidelines that act as a road for what creators can share on our platform, and a set of ad-friendly guidelines. So they can't even get the guidelines together as the same thing for what they can monetize. We have a system of strikes to enforce those guidelines, which ultimately results in a channel's termination. But in a very rare instance, we need a broader set of tools at our disposal that we can use more quickly and effectively than the current system and guidelines strikes. So here's the shoe drop. Let's see. Yeah, that's the shoe drop for the game too. Today we're outlining additional steps we may take beyond the current strike system when channel upload videos that result in widespread harm to the community of creators. So anytime a YouTuber gets caught doing something bad, they'll take these extra actions. The harm to our community of creators, viewers, or advertisers. Number 1, premium monetization programs, promotion, and content development partnerships. We may remove a channel from the Google Preferred and also suspend, cancel, or remove a creator's YouTube original. Ooh, this sounds really dangerous for YouTube, for them to have to come out and say that we're claiming the right to do something that they've already done twice. Like, they've already twice kicked out. They suspended Logan Paul's movie deal with YouTube Red, and they didn't air PewDiePie's YouTube Red Season 2. And they removed both of them, I believe, from the Google Preferred program. So, in the background, this may have just triggered the lawsuit from PewDiePie and Logan Paul against YouTube, or the lawsuit may have already been going, and this is a way of them trying to correct things so they don't get sued again. Number 2, monetization and creator support privileges. We may suspend a channel's ability to serve ads, ability to earn revenue, and potentially remove a channel from YouTube partner program, including creator support and access to YouTube Spaces. I was wondering partially on this for the small channels. Like, theoretically, there's an email out there I could email if I needed help on YouTube. I wonder if that... wow, my Windows wants to update too. Great. I wonder if that email would work right now, and if I should email them and say, hey, maybe you could you do something to keep me in the partner program, please? They'd just say no, I'm sure. But I wouldn't be surprised if that email just stops working. And number 3, we may remove a channel's eligibility to be recommended on YouTube, such as appearing on the homepage, trending tab, or watch next. Which at that point, if it's not showing up on the watch next, it's not being promoted anywhere or recommended anywhere. And that's something I didn't think any YouTube video qualified for. Like, I thought the point of the algorithm is that if you had a very niche video that only one person in the entire planet wanted to see, it could potentially be recommended to that one person. Here's an understatement of the year. In the past, we felt our responses to some of these situations were slow and didn't always address our broader community's concerns. You felt that way? You and every other person on the planet. Our ultimate goal here is to streamline our response so that we can make better, faster decisions and communicate them clearly. Honestly, it's pretty obvious that I hate Susan Wojcicki as the CEO of YouTube. I think she's making bad mistakes. But if she wanted to be like Vince McMahon in the WWE and just walk out and make proclamations and change the rules and cheat anybody she wanted to. If it was just one bad person that you knew was the bad person running YouTube and that they were kind of random, I would appreciate that more than the ridiculously high levels of bureaucracy and BS that are usually what you run into in the case of YouTube. Like, I would take just a bravado-ish single bad leader over bureaucracy any day. Next paragraph. We believe strongly in the freedom of expression, and we know that the overwhelming majority of you follow the guidelines and understand that you're part of a large influential and interconnected community that now doesn't want any of its small channels, but we also know that we have to take a responsibility to protect the entire community of creators, viewers, and advertisers from these rare but often damaging situations. We expect to issue these new consequences only in a rare handful of egregious causes, but hope they will help us prevent the actions of a few from harming the broader community. And this is from Ariel Barden, Vice President of Product Management at YouTube. So it's not even from Susan Wojcicki. And the first top comment is A+ first steps, thank you. And then the second comment is the instant response to this is that Logan Paul breaks the rules 3 times. YouTube sends him a sternly worded email, and yet this person's small channel, like my small channel, doesn't break any of the rules, and yet it's being punished. Let's see. And third comment is you appreciate freedom of expression since when? Let's see. What is really interesting will be the next thing that Logan Paul does, because the thing to question here is, if normally the cycle on YouTube, Logan Paul would make a video and he would complain about YouTube taking all his money away, and he would try to make himself look like the victim, and his fans, who are all his hardcore fans, will probably mostly fall for that, and this will just start yet another cycle of we hate YouTube. I mean, YouTube really can't win. Like, there's like nothing here from what I've heard that says Logan Paul couldn't be remonetized tomorrow, a week from now, 30 days from now would be kind of the appropriate level, in my opinion. Let's see. So, like, when you look at it from that end, that this may not be that long lasting of a punishment. That, who knows? Yeah, I should be able to win next turn, one or the other way. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see YouTube's next step, if they maintain this punishment for 30 days, which should be the right amount. If they go more than 30 days, then they might as well just kick them off the service completely. I don't think Logan Paul is specifically going to get to Facebook or Twitch either, so I think you're pretty safe kicking him off at this moment. I also kind of wonder if the content that he's been making lately is actually content that was already in development and made before the suicide video, and he's literally just pushing out his already made content because he doesn't want to get rid of it. That would have been an terribly stupid thought, but it seems like whatever he's doing are terribly stupid thoughts. I wouldn't mind if they kicked off Logan Paul. I wouldn't mind if there was a few people, like big time people, kicked off. At the very least, when you compare Logan Paul to PewDiePie, PewDiePie can act like he sees the mistake of his ways and try to not do it instantaneously. Not that being said, like PewDiePie 2 maybe needed to go, or at the very least be punished for 30 days. He definitely needed to be demonetized for community guideline strike for 30 days. And just there desperately needed to be a fair application of the rules, and it doesn't seem like there it was at all. And with that, we've been going really long on this stream, and I'm not going to do another episode because there's no real more news. This is probably the beginning of more drama, and it will be very interesting to see where this drama goes. I would love it if Logan Paul just tries to do a middle finger to YouTube and they literally delete his channel. That might hurt YouTube a little bit, but it probably wouldn't that much either. Like, anyways, though, that's gonna be it for this. There is so much off gameplay that needs to be done. We need Paladin and 5 Paladin Priest victories. We need 10 Divine Shields. I need to play more Murlocs on this account. I need 5 more victories on the European account. We're right in the middle of doing daily quests to get the chance to win 3,000 packs. I would love to win 3,000 packs. Speaking of packs, did we not purchase a Knights of the Frozen Throne pack? I don't believe we did. So let's buy one and see what happens. See if we can get the Bone Mare back. We've tried that 3 different times after disenchanting it. In theory, getting the Bone Mare back might be a smart move, because then you could disenchant it again. Like, right now would probably be a very great time to open Knights of the Frozen Throne packs, get as many Bone Mares as possible, disenchant it for dust, open more packs, disenchant it for dust. The return rate is probably higher than you would think, or than anything else you would get. And we have 1 new card and all of that, and it was an epic card, and I have enough cards to make another epic. So we got this one: put 1 secret from your deck into the battlefield. Not too bad. So if I go to basic cards, classic cards, and then type in missing, let's see. I have a bunch of legendaries, and this This one is missing. That's a legendary. These are missing. One. So create that for 400. And the reason I created that is I'm going down this path trying to get as many classic cards left. I need 6 here, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. There's only 12 classic cards that I'm missing, and then I will have a complete classic set, which means I probably won't be buying any more classic packs after the next expansion. And I doubt I'll even buy 50 classic packs in the next expansion. But maybe I will, you know. I don't know how that works once you have a complete collection. Do I start getting gold cards more often? Do I get legendaries more often? Or does it all stay the same? Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. On to the Silent Post Show. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me, gift me a game on Steam. That helps out a lot. If you want to thank you for watching. Have a good evening.